What's good, everybody? Happy Thrive Thursday. So let's get into it. I mentioned last week that, I had recorded some videos that kind of spoke at length about my health journey. So I want to share part one of those videos with you. Thank you for watching in advance. My kid is sick. He's over there coughing. We're nursing him back to health. It's been a week, y'all. But we are coming out the other side. And that is very apropos on Thrive Thursday. So check out part one of this video, and I will see you in a bit. Okay. I wanted to talk about what's been going on with me health-wise since about 2016, because that has been playing a big part in me being a husband and a father. In 2016, I was in a show in LA. I was in a play, and at half hour before, the day before our closing night, I went to the bathroom and peed blood. So warning, this is graphic information. That was as graphic as it gets, but if you're watching this with small ones, tell them that we're going to be talking about some serious issues. The crazy part is that happened at half hour. And somehow I walked out on stage for 90 minutes in a play. And all I wanted to do was like crawl up in a ball on the stage. That was Herculean. I don't really know how I didn't have the will to do that, but that was certainly like grace given to me to do that. So by the end of the night, clear. But I get up in the morning the next day and I go to urgent care, and that's when they tell me there's something going on. And she hooked me up with a really awesome doctor because I didn't have a primary, but I was gonna have to wait like 3 or 4 days to see him. And so she was like, only come back if it's like bright red or if you have a lot of pain, if there's fever, blah, blah, blah. So they send me away. They gave me a strainer to pee into. They wanted to see if, maybe I was passing a kidney stone. So this strainer, I don't know, strainer would help catch anything that was in there. So I was doing that, and on Monday, one of my closest, I call her my baby trauma mama because we have been through a lot together, Jessica Nicole Pruitt. She and Bear invited me over to their home to have dinner on Monday night. I was in a Target and I had to pee. And I was across the street from her house, and I remember thinking, man, I don't feel like going to this bathroom and pulling out the strainer. And I'm going to wait until I get to her house to go to the bathroom. When I got to her house, I was like, I gotta pee. And she was like, go do your thing. And she said as a joke, if you need me, just holler. And it was just the two of us, and she was making dinner. And I went to her bathroom, and it was like a horror movie. That's the best way to describe it. And so I started calling for her because I didn't know what to do, and cleaning up at the same time. She was at the faucet washing pasta. And as she tells it, she would hear something, she would turn the water off. It was a really forceful faucet. And she didn't hear anything. So then she would turn it back on. And then she would hear something faintly, and she did that like 3 times. And then finally she was like, are you calling me? And I was like, yeah. I was like, I think I need to go to the hospital. She said she came to the door, and afterwards she told me that she was saying on the other side of the door, I can handle anything but vomit. I can handle anything but vomit. It wasn't vomit. She walked in, and the scene, I was cleaning up. I was like, I'm so sorry. I think we need to go to the ER. And she was like, yes, let's go. So we went to Cedars. She drove us there. And she says that I called my sister on the way, and like wasn't trying to say goodbyes or anything, but I didn't know what was happening to me. So I was like, and she didn't pick up. So I was leaving her a message, and it was more like, I don't know what's going on, but that I love you and blah, 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 blah. At which point she said she just pressed on the gas because she didn't know if I was gonna faint. And she was like, I didn't know we were gonna get to the ER and I was gonna have to get out of the car and be like, emergency, stat, like he's passed out. You know, all of these things we tried to laugh about afterwards. We tried to laugh within the moment, but like at that moment, there wasn't a lot of things to laugh about. But we got checked in and everything, and I remember sitting in the waiting room and really seeing a lot of trauma, a lot of trauma. I'm gonna write about it one day. But I was so happy that I had her with me. And we go back and we're on a gurney in the hallway because we don't have a room. And that's when we were like, okay, well, like this is scary and clearly something's wrong. But now we're sitting in the hallway on a gurney. So how do we make the best of it? So, you know, I started to do a photo shoot. She did a photo shoot after we called my parents and let them know that I was in the ER. And so, yeah, so that visit turned into me finding out there was a tumor on my right kidney. And they said it wasn't tiny, but it wasn't big. And they don't know how long it's been there and they can't tell me anything else. And deuces, like go home. And I was like, and I've never been admitted into a hospital, and I thought certainly today is the day. And they were like, no, you're bleeding. Go home. Nothing we can do about it. It's not enough blood for us to be alarmed. To keep you here, you need to see a urologist. And I asked for the best. And she said, all of our urologists are the best. But she gave me the best. You gotta ask for what you need, people. You just say it. Something inside of me said, just say it. So I said it. I said, give me the best. I was scared. I was trying not to be. And she gave me the best. She gave me the chief of staff for urology and someone awesome, Dr. Ng, who specialized in laparoscopic surgery as well. So I see Dr. Ng, and Jessica and Bear go with me. If you ever have to go to a doctor for something serious, you want to make sure you have someone with you. Someone who can ask the questions that you won't be able to ask or remember to ask because of the information that you're receiving about yourself. That is alarming and scary and all of the things. Like your brain is like on overload. So it's nice to have someone there who's a little bit removed from the like immediate trauma, like it's not happening to them, and they can ask questions that will help you. Oh yeah, I wanted to ask about that. I was really grateful to have the two of them. They were excellent healthcare advocates for me. And they took notes so that I could share it with my parents and my family, because again, you can only retain so many scary things at one time. And that was really, really helpful. Shout out to all of my friends in LA and everywhere who like prayed me through, and like I really got through this with the help of my friends. I really did. And you know, as a kid, I struggled with this idea that I don't have a lot of really close friends, and I really wanted them. I ended up with everything as an adult that I always wanted as a child. So I'm super grateful. The doctor said that there was a tumor on my right kidney, and my tumor started in an area where like it spoke and it was like revealed. But they said that, you know, because of where it is, they can't like take it out. They had to take the whole kidney, and 80% of those tumors are malignant. So I had a 20% chance that I was not dealing with cancer, and I was really, really hoping that I fell into the 20%. I remember telling Eddie that I was gonna have my kidney removed, and I remember like, I do remember something washed over his face, and it was like, no, that's not that's not the answer. Like, that's not what I've been praying for. That's not what everybody's been praying for. That's not the answer. And it was at that moment that I realized, oh wow, man, this is not happening to just you. This is happening to everybody around you. Everybody that loves you. Everyone is having to like reconcile this. Like, and yes, you're dealing with your own personal fear because it's happening to you, but there are other people involved in this. And strangely enough, that helped me like zoom out a little bit and make it not so devastating. So I did have to have my kidney removed 2 weeks later. So June 19th, 2016, I had my right kidney removed, and found out that it was malignant, but they were like, but that's it, you're cured. Nothing else to do. It was too small. It hadn't spread. That was the cure. No chemo, no radiation, nothing. And I was like, wow, I didn't even know that was a possibility to like deal with cancer that, succinctly and to have it be done. So I was super grateful. I felt a lot like, shoo, but I also felt a lot like, oh man, like, is this gonna be like a boomerang? Like, is it gonna like whiz past me, but like, is it gonna come and smack me in the face? For the next 4 years, I tried not to think about that. I didn't do a good job. 2020, have a kid. Got married in 2018. Fast forward to 2020, have Caleb on January 7th, 2020. Best year of my life. COVID happens, we're on lockdown. I normally get scanned in April, couldn't do that. So come July, my wife and I decided, let's get out of New York City, let's go back to LA where I still have my place, I can see my doctors, we can ride out the pandemic there. So we packed 6-month-old Caleb and all of our belongings that we would need into a minivan, and we hike it across country. We take 2 weeks, we have a great time, we're visiting our families, we get to LA, and I immediately go to get my yearly scans. And this year I said, I'm not gonna worry about these scans. They've always been clear. They've always been clear. You don't have to worry. My doctor, after my scans, I go in to see him and he's like, everything looks great. He was like, yeah, everything looks clear. He's like, you got something in your lung. I think it's like an old infection where you're sick. He was like, I want you to see a pulmonary specialist. I'm not worried about this at all. Yeah, I think we know what happens when a doctor or someone of authority or importance says to you, don't worry about it. Nothing to worry about. You might be worried. But more about that the next time we circle back to this story. I really appreciate you taking the time to listen to that. I don't want to give you too much all at once, small bites, but it's really important for me to share this part of my life with all of you, because I feel like bringing you guys up to speed just helps this connection grow a little bit stronger. And, the good thing is, as I said in the video last week, I feel like I'm coming out on the other side. I really do feel like I'm thriving. So there is a happy ending to this look back, so to speak. And speaking of thriving, because it is Thrive Thursday, I wanted to tell you about how I was thriving today, or as we learned last week, how I throve today. Today I had an audition, and this audition required me to do all of my good singing and all of my good acting, and I have been recovering from laryngitis. I lost my voice due to a cold, and I was in a play, and it's been slow getting back together. And I went to see my ENT, and he was like, yeah, they're still swollen. So I was like, okay, I want to do this audition, but I'm not 100%. But I felt like I had enough to show up and not embarrass myself and make a good showing. And on Tuesday, I was like, yeah, you should cancel this. You should back out. This is going to be a disaster. Everything was screaming at me to do that. But there was a small voice inside of me that was like, Lawrence, you are enough. You are not just your voice. You are not just your acting. Just show up with what you have, and it will be enough. And I fought like hell to listen to that voice, and not the fear and not the doubt, because I'm sick of it. I don't want to give it any more space in my life. And when you're done with something, you have to take every opportunity to cancel it, to like punch it in the face. And that's what I was able to do today. And that felt like thriving. That felt like operating from a place of abundance, of knowing that I am more than enough. And the moment I stepped foot in that room, I was victorious, because I didn't let the voices of doubt and fear rule. So just wanted to share that, since it is Thrive Thursday. Go ahead and drop something in the comments today if you had a moment of thriving today, or if you felt like you were thriving this week. Let us know. We would love to celebrate that victory with you. Until we meet again, everybody, be safe, be blessed, thrive on. We'll see you next Thursday.